Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So today is our first tutorial. So I'm gonna okay. Let me just show you my Google site. So this is my Google Scholar. So right now I have 266 citations since 2020, and so far I have H index which is 11. And this is my current paper collaboration with the Professor Jakub Pablin from Czech University of Life Sciences Prague, and this is the title Competitiveness of European Beech or Ficus sylvatica and Norway spruce across primary forest of the Carpathians. So basically, I'm here to navigate you to my Google site. So this is my Google site. So I have homes, have ebooks. I have actually a lot of ebooks. This is still on process, but there are already two ebooks that are available online. You can get a copy for only $2.99. First is Mastering R, step-by-step guide for researchers, and the second paper is Scientific Writing Simplified, a practical guide to publishing. And again, this is available in Beehive. Just click this Beehive and automatically it will give you uh, the link. Right now it's not working, but you can also email me with my email address. So today is our first tutorial is, there's a lot of people ask me like how to get funding from the UST. So as a researcher, as a young researcher, I think this is the most crucial part in terms of getting your project funded. So basically, I already attended a seminar just recently at Visayas State University. So how to conceptualize your research and how to fill in the forms of the UST, how to navigate their websites, the deadlines, and how to really fill in the forms from item budget from proposal to concept proposal. So today I'm gonna navigate you on how to do this. So first is this is my video tutorials site. So I have how to apply for USD funding step-by-step guide. Learn the complete process of applying for USD research funding from idea, proposal, preparation, budget, attachment, routing, and online submission. Perfect for faculty, researchers, and graduate students, and also to those early career researchers. So I have a lot of tutorial that is still ongoing, and I will upload this as soon as the video is ready. So first is how to apply for this funding. So with that, I will navigate you directly to the website. So just search this basic research.nrcp.ust.gov.ph. It's called for proposal. So here you can look at the goal priority areas. So basically you can look at what are their priority teams. So you have SACLAW program, ATIN program, LICAS program, TUDIC program, SAPAT, and alert program. So basically what you have in your mind is basically just have to look at which your project is aligned with their priority area. So for example, in my case, I'm interested in forestry research because I am a forestry in background. So I was already navigating this last week, and then all of my project is really aligned to the Sustainable Communities SACLAW program, Saklolo Salawa. So basically, these are the thematic the USA thematic priority areas. So you can see here there is environment and natural resources. So under that, there is a so-called vulnerable ecosystems. lakes, rivers, wetlands, seas, and oceans. So here you can see the priority area from 2025. So you have soil science, current capacity models of ecosystems, environmental scanning of physical, aquatic, marine, and terrestrial research. So, and there is a lot of that, and just have to look at which priority areas your research is aligned. So let's say, for example, another climate disaster, resilience, and human security. So with that, there is again the subtopic, human dimensions, research for climate change. We have risk communication models for disaster risk reduction and climate change, adaptation, popularization, and dissemination of scientific language, studies on the rules of LGO before, during, and after disaster. So studies on use of multiple platforms for risk communication, use of oral communication in risk communication. So with that, in my case, I was really interested in endangered species because at first I want to work on endangered species in Luzerne Island where I work. So I was thinking working on the Turcarps forest because these species are now declining, and also because I am interested in policy research. So I was thinking of also doing economic valuation of ecosystems, natural capital, and cost benefit analysis. So actually, there's a lot of this priority areas. So just have to click, for example, the athlete program. So here you can see a lot of the topics. So just go there and look at which topic you are interested in. So I'm just trying to navigate all of this so that you have an idea. Let's say, for example, here, environment and natural resources, watersheds. If you are interested in watershed or groundwater and river basin modeling, so you can actually try to look at this. So again, clean energy, and here is that's under goal criteria. So when you click the requirements, so you can see their concept proposals. The first is actually what they're doing is they want you to send your concept proposal first. I think like 8 pages. So like the overview, methods, how much, and in the time frame, let's say 2 years or 3 years. And once you will get let's say a feedback that they are interested in your concept proposal. So basically, you have to set your goal long proposal, which is, I would say, take time because you need to really put in the most important part, and also the budget proposal and a lot of requirements, which is your CV endorsement from the head of the agency. Let's say, for example, if you're from the university, so your proposal should be endorsed by the president of the university and other requirements. So we will try to navigate that later on. So when you click, when you try to scroll down all this, is you can see there all the forms. You have downloadable forms. So these are the forms that you can try to fill in. So they have the USDGF form, DST, GIA, that's actually grants in aid, and form work plan, less than person involved, line item budget. So this is the most crucial part is the line item budget, because basically you have to put how much is how much. Let's say you're asking for 2 million for 2 years. So what are the budget, like how much do you need for this? How much you select this a line? I will show you later on, and the platform. So basically you can just click that and try to fill in. So I don't want to download this because it will probably take a lot of time for me to download that. I have here already some of the form that I have. So first is I did the so-called let me just check this so here is the concept proposal that I sent. So basically, this is what a concept proposal should it look like. So basically, you have to write the program title, the program duration. So because if it's a program, so the hardest part of this is if it's a program, so it should compose of different components. But if you're an early researcher, I think you can go through the propose the project, not program. So here it's project title, so it's more manageable, I would say. So here the the project title, the project duration, estimated budget, and the principal research questions to be addressed. So this is only two pages. So I'll try to show you how did I fill this form. So I think I'll try to go back to my project proposal, detailed online, and so I'm not sure if I have it here, but it should be here. So here this funding. So concept proposal. This is my concept proposal. So let me just try to open this. All right. So while waiting, maybe you can think of like what is the best research. So it would be really nice if your research is aligned to your research interest, and of course you can always collaborate with people who are also concept. So concept proposal, viewing. So probably here. Uh, okay. Let me just try this three ring. Because this is my proposal that I sent, so I hope you will not copy my idea, but it's okay. It's only for learning, and this is also subject for planning. So anyway, so this is the proposal that I sent to the USD. So project title, let's say 3 billion, 3 ring science for climate reconstructions and for disturbance analysis in Billion Island. And let's say I put your 36 math, then I'm asking for 4 million. So principal research questions, basically it's just very short. How can tree ring analysis be used to reconstruct historical climate variability, typhoon impacts, and disturbance patterns in the forest of Rhode Island? And how can this long-term growth records improve current forest management, watershed protection, and climate adaptation strategies? So the proposed project will assess tree ring with density variations and growth anomalies and selective species to develop. So this is still an ongoing proposal because I still don't know what species should I be using because sometimes the tropical trees appearing are not really that visible. So see from the empty form, that's only two pages now. I have 6 pages. So here it's just I just read the project leader, so that would be me, Dr. Rafa Rodrigo, and this is my position. I should Professor Prime. And my organizations, the Liran Province State University. Yeah, and then Department of Earth Science, and this is my contact number. So I just put it there, my uh profile, have the sites Google and Scholar Google just to not condense, but just to look at the evaluator, the capacity in terms of the uh, researcher. All right. So here I just included the other ongoing projects which I lead. So I am the principal investigator. So I have this huge program that I'm trying to, but this is still ongoing and this still needs funding. So program Bureau Island Forest Sustainability Initiative, Conservation, Carbon Management, and Community Empowerment. So again, the corporate agency. So just list every organization that you wanted to partner. So basically, because this is research in forest, so first DNR is the number one because in terms of the access permits, field assistance, fish identification support. So I'm gonna need their support. And of course, the local government units because let's say the study area it will be located in Almeria or in Colaba or in Kawayan. So I have to have uh learning. I need to have like a partner with them, ask permission and if I can do the partnership with them. And I included here the University of Erlangen, Nuremberg, Germany, or the Swedish University of Agricultural Sciences, Sweden, because they have experience in tropical curing. And also I know some colleagues there that I can reach out to for network. And of course. So the sites of implementation. So basically, you just have to write the implementation sites. So because basically, I wanted to have study sites in Almeria, Colaba, Nabal, and Hawaiian. And I'm not sure this is sorry, but these are asking the base station. So, but I just read there that this is the center that I'm trying to develop. This is not yet visible, but this is the it would be the efforts of the Department of Forest Science. So we wanted to create a center for conservation and rehabilitation of nature in Biliran to be lodged by the Department of Forest Science. And I am the lead initiator of this center. So research and development program. So you just have to check. So this is applied research and also this is basic. So the disaster risk reduction and climate change adaptation because I'm dealing with climate change, like it's like climate reconstruction based on the triggering of the species. So just DST pillars to pursue. So this is important for them to for evaluation. So what does your research applies to DST pillars? So you have the human well-being, you have the wealth creation, the wealth protection, and sustainability. So it really depends on the type of research that you are working on. So it's on your own. Now learning, education, and culture because it's a love. So definitely we want to. It's a learning and environment and natural resources, and of course it's under climate resistant resilience, disaster resilience, and human security, and also governance. So for that, there is a project summary. So you really have to be strict in terms of this because it says maximum of 1,500 words. So project summary is briefly describe your proposed research project, ensuring the clarity of the scientific rationale, the deficit, the needs, the gaps of the problem structure. So imagine that you have to put everything into one frame for 1,500 words. So in this, you can really think like how you will frame your writing and be stick to 1,000 words because do not let your evaluator get bored when the your capsule proposal. Remember, this is your ticket to submitting your full-blown proposal. So you should already uh writing this in a great shape so that the initial evaluation you can get to the second step. So in this case, I just trying to write a few words. So here, for the Philippines, so I'm just trying to jump directly to the problem. So increasingly threatened by climate variability, extreme weather events, which is really happening in our country, especially the Iran Island, and of course the long-term ecosystem degradation. So yet, I wrote there, yet national scale data on historical forest growth disturbance regimes and climate forest recharges remain extremely limited. So this is my selling point, and this is what I wanted to work on the tree ring. So I've kind of just wrote a little bit of the terminology, what is tree ring science, and what the tree ring science offers in terms of this research. And then on the third paragraph, I kind of write context in Biliran Island. Why Biliran Island? What's so interesting in Biliran Island? So in this case, I just wrote it there that Biliran Island is an ideal site to pioneer this work. So of course, it's unique landscape features, distinct elevation gradients, diverse forest types, and insect watershed and frequent typhoon exposure, which conditions well suited for detecting climate growth associated and distributional signatures. So this is exactly my selling point. So I just put the problem here, and I kind of write here that the original research system train research, of course, the importance of this, why I wanted to conduct this research, and what is it, and like what is it for the USD? Like do why I'm asking like 4 million? So I just wrote it there that this would be also sustainability also good for my students, the Department for Science, all the equipment, the learning, and also the training. We're able to help strengthen the instructional purposes of the Department for Science. So here, I'm gonna just write scientifically. The project is grounded on this. So, and the project address the livelihood and value chain consideration. So you just read there. I just make sure that you have to write within 1,500 words on it. So I kind of wrote your project objectives. I stick to three objectives because the more objectives you have, the more the deliverables that you need to promise to us this. In that case, I think 2 to 3 objectives would be enough. So yes, this is the critical focus and outputs, significance and national relevance, institutional impact, and scientific conclusions. So after that, I'll just admit project leader. I am the project leader and my invented name and my professor. So right now I am actually Professor 5 and I'm also in RCP Ashit member, and I'm now on stage of like the regular membership. It's still under review, so I hope I'll be able to get this. So this is also I am current editor in chief of the Journal of Philippine Island Universities of the journal. So if you try to search this here, let me just search it. So basically, you can this is the Journal of Philippine Universities, and this is I'm interested where you can see my background and just a little bit of this. So with that, I sent this already, and then after that, I get a feedback from the DOST that they kind of like the proposal, so they kind of request me to send my full proposal. So I'm gonna try. So this is now the Turing detailed project proposal. So I'll show you here. So I think I have enough time. So I hope that you learn. I hope you're following. So this is like 31 pages. So it's a lot actually. So but it's just at first it was a bit complicated, I would say. But if you really just sit it there and try to fill in these forms, I think you can finish in a week. That depends on the need, the review literature. So it will take time. So here it's a project profile, but this is only a project profile. You don't need a program title, which I did because I wanted to do this as a program and a little bit of project. So the program title is Billion Island Forest Sustainability Initiative, Climate Growth Dynamics, Disturbance Reconstructions, and Resource Management. So for the project title I have here, Tribulation Science for Climate Reconstructions and Forest Disturbance Analysis. So I am the project leader, of course. So Dr. Rafi Rodrigo, I am I would say 36 months. So this is the funding project I have. So it's gonna be a long time awaiting. It's we are still in 2025 and asking for funding for 2028. So I hope I can get it. So here is the implementing agency, of course, Biloran Province State University, Biloran Campus. And how would you regard yourself as a researcher? So I would be a established researcher because I have already handled million project back in my previous studies in Germany and also Czech Republic. So I would say I have almost 30 authored and co-authored manuscripts in Elsevier. So that makes me more confident to write there as a researcher. So again, this is pretty same with the concept proposal here is just have to write the origin. So again, DNR, LGU, and I can put there the Czech University of Lysenberg, which is my PhD university. So where I could connect with my previous colleagues. So here the implementation. So basically I wanted to include all the sites in Billion Island. So I don't know where to samples yet, but I just wrote it there, all the potential sites. So, and again, it's the same. So R&D, I said applied agriculture, aquatic, and natural resources. And also for the disaster risk reduction and climate change adaptation. So again, it's pretty same with the concept. So I don't want to repeat that. But here it's like there is like executive summary. So in my case, I only have so just write it there. Not you have to be careful with this. Not exceed 200 words. So you really have to be strict on that. So again, I just write it there. Now the overall project, how project will be able to help Philippines and why the USD will fund you your 4 million project. So again, introduction. I really like it very simple because there is a rationale and significance, so not exceed general. So be careful again, be careful with this. So for the introduction, I only have one paragraph. So I cannot just, throw everything out. Turing Science offers a powerful yet underutilized tool for generating long-term records of climate variability and forest disturbance in the Philippines, the country highly exposed to typhoons, droughts, and rapid environmental change. So this is kind of my story, and despite this community, no educational program exists in Western Visayas. This is kind of my story. This is what I want to do, and how can we learn from this. So for the significance, I kind of write a three paragraph because I wanted to write it in details, and also the words limit. So I just write it. The Philippines rank the most. So it's entirely up to you how you write it, but I think you really have to be, again, you usually have to the style there is you kind of align your research on the USD thematic areas. In that case, I can put directly right away. I that's why I write it here. This project is strongly aligned with the DOST thematic areas, including environment and natural resources. So climate, disaster resilience, and human security, and agenda of sustainable communities and livelihoods and stuff like that. So it's like basically like what your research is all about, and how it is being aligned to DOST prior to research. So for the theoretical framework, you can do it in your own. So I kind of just write the simple words here, and I kind of also make a simple flow. So basically, this is my theoretical framework. So climate factors, rainfall, temperature, and so typhoons, and then well, this tree growth anomalies. So you can try to look at the tree ring width, suppression, release signals. And from that, you can actually reconstruct now the disturbance of what happens during this time, typhoons, drought, and also the historical events here. So after that, you can look at already like forest conditions, indicators, resilience, vulnerability, species sensitivity. So with this, you can already compare like, oh, why species A is this, why species B is this, and why is there is variation in terms of the results, in terms of the patterns, in terms of the suppression, in terms of the signals. So just trying to look at the tree ring width. So with that, you can have climate resilience management based on your data, and you can do the monitoring, planning, and adaptation. So yes, so that's our trickle framework, and here is the, so I put it just general objective there to establish the first dendrochronology and forest disturbance research program in Biliran Island by developing species-specific Turing dataset. So this is just like my own words, and you get this right here. So basically, again, I have three specific objectives. In this case, I just these are the keywords: to identify and evaluate three species in Biliran Island, and to determine climate growth relationship, and to detect and date root anomalies. So basically, this is just my three specific objectives. So for this review of literature, this would take a lot of time because you need to read the papers, you need to download all the most important and the most reliable publications which you taken from legit, I would say legit journal. So make sure that you're citing your daily journal that is not predatory journal, so be careful with this. So this would take time, so that's why it's important for you to prepare it ahead of time. So in this case, I wrote it two only subtopics. So the rule of dendrochronology in understanding climate variability. So with that, I'll continue here. Just just write it there. So it's entirely up to you how to write it, but I think you have already a background. So in this case, another subheading is effects of tropical cyclones and on forest ecosystem. So this is exactly my selling point of how does cyclones is affecting uh forest ecosystems by looking at the tree rings. So with that, there's a methodology. So this is very crucial, I would say. GST evaluators are very um uh strict with this, like how you write your methodologies. So in that case, I usually just subdivide, you make some subheading for methodology. So first is the site selection and characterization. So the first step is this and that. So where, how, and then field data collection and sampling and clearing. So how do you collect your data? Where to collect your data? How the data shall be collected. So it's yeah, I'm sure you have already a background with that, and how to climate and disturbance data integration. And here is just data analysis management. So how do you analyze your data and how you manage it? So you can have your own way of writing this methodology, but I would say it's better to write it like at least 2 to 3 subheadings so that the evaluators again will not get bored and they will kind of interested in reading further your proposal. So a technology roadmap is just it's applicable. So I usually just write it there like it's kind of how you see your projects. Basically, I just wrote year one. So for year one is of course, I want to establish a technology lab, pilot sampling, method validation, and build initial chronologies for 1 to 2 species and sites, and conduct first training workshop for students and research team. And of course, I was thinking to travel to Germany and Czech Republic for capacity building of the lab. So it depends this. So that's why when I write the proposal, the funding, I usually there put the foreign and the foreign travel. So it's you have to make sure that all your activities are being planned and in terms of the budget because you cannot use let's say you didn't put there that you wanted to travel to Czech Republic for some training in the most established dendrochronology lab in Europe, but then you didn't write that you wanted to travel abroad. So basically, you cannot use up other funds from your project. So you really have to make sure that everything is transparent. And let's say I will attend a conference, at least one conference per year. So basically, I put there like 30,000 per year. Let's say 20,000 for the travel expenses, food, accommodation, and let's say 8,000 for the registration fee. So I usually wrote it this way. So in that case, 30,000, let's say 20,000 per year, and so basically you have to write 60,000 for 3 years project. So you really have to take note of this. Now, year two, you have to expand sampling and chronologies to additional sites and species, complete climate growth and disturbance analysis. And year three is here. First, finalize technical manual, policy brief, and at least one peer reviewed article. So just, like a roadmap as where your project is going. So for the expected outputs, the 6 Ps. So, I mean, I'm not sure if you will be to cover all the 6 Ps, but I think in my case, I try to at least, like fill in this at least one. So let's say publication. So I wrote that I will publish one Scopus NX publication and then for the patents. So basically I will just write like I will apply for patent. People services, usually I um just make some depends. So like support undergraduate studies, it's like it depends on how what can you provide under this piece and basis partnerships. So of course, I wanted to maintain the partnership with other agency like the DNR or other or other university and the policies. So it will take a lot of time because I was thinking I wrote it there that at least one policy recommendation will be written and recommended for DNR. So that depends on you already have the data. So I would say this policy can be realized on year three, I think. So okay, so we're almost there. Okay. So primary target beneficiaries, of course, I like primary, so DNR, funeral, local government units, tips to faculty and students, and secondary, and of course the community. So remember, you're doing research for the Philippines and in the Philippines, like how, or what benefits, the countrymen can utilize or can benefit it from this research. Let's see, because you're asking a 4 million project. So where will this 4 million be useful? Okay. So of course, there is a so-called sustainability plan. So, they want that after the project, you just forget everything. So they want kind of try to really work on your law. So that's exactly why I wanted to do the law because would be the continuation, all the subjects will be integrated in the lab. So we have a subject on tree ring. We can integrate and the students can do the really look at the tree ring in each tree. So that's would be that would also be implemented. So embed chronology topics in regular forestry courses. and develop follow-up proposals to each stage depending on your initial results. So yeah, so you can actually write anything what you think is the sustainability plan. And gender development score, actually there is so-called extra form, and you need to like checklist like in terms of the GAD, general development. So I think you know that already. And of course, limitation of the project. So this is just the potential limitation of project. In my case, I just wrote it there. Not all targets which may be produced clear annual or gross datable rings. So which may limit numbers of usable chronologies, all right? And here is access to some sites may be constrained by weather. The project duration may not be sufficient to fully explore all potential species and forest types in the area. So this is the potential limitation. But there's another risk assumption risk management plan. So kind of write the risk and how you mitigate it. Say, for example, risk. So difficulty in detecting annual rings and certain species, so which is, of course, always happens. So mitigation is pilot sampling and species spreading. Consult with anatomists and external experts to redirect efforts to species with clear ring signature structure. And there's, let's say, delays in permit issuance, because you have to ask permission from DNR, like when you core the trees, so this will take a lot of time. And also notification of the LGU, where your site is being located. So that's why your mitigation is, let's say, early coordination and submission requirements. So extreme weather, typhoon, so schedule flexible field campaigns and delays in procurement and equipment. Let's say the money is already downloaded to your account and you gotta order or procure for like a microscope, and it would take a lot of time because you need to do the canvassing, the price, the price. So I don't know how long would it take. So that's why it's important to have early procurement planning. So again, assumptions and this. So literature side, of course, is important. So that's why you have to make sure that your research is legit. I mean, the literature cited to make sure that you're using credible sources, so not credible journals. So in my case, I only have, I think it's 20, yeah, 20 research. So a lot of up to 28 references. So personal equipment requirements are here positions. I am the project leader, Dr. Rocky Virgo. So the percent time devoted to the project is 20%. Responsibilities. So first, overall project management. You cannot put 100% because you will be handling other projects as well. But if you wanted to hire associate, technician, laboratory assistant, students, so you have the rules, responsibilities, and so on. So and also important when you do the line item budget in terms of their salary. Okay, so now let's go to number 20, the budget by implementing. So this is how much you earn, how much you asked. So let's say year one, year two, year three. So this is my required budget, 4 million, and this is the personal service. This is the MOOE and the EO, the capital outlay. So here is the amount. So right now still empty because I still like trying to figure out like how much is going to this and this one. So just to make sure, because the first is I finalized in the Excel file before putting everything here because this is myself. So like, okay, so I think just to make sure that you understand a little bit, so I'll try to navigate the line since we're already here. Line form 4 line after budget. Okay. So again, this is the budget requirements. All right. Now this is the form. This is the line after budget. So I'm sure that I can just run it over. Make it on 3 break. Okay. Let's start doing. All right. Okay. So this is the project now. So there's a project, 13 months, me, and this is yes, that's right. So personal services. If you remember the personal services, that is PS, and let's say salary is 400,000, honorary 180,000. So basically for 3 years, this is you're asking 580,000 for 3 years. Okay. Now there is the so-called MOOE. Now, what is MOOE? So here is the MOOE. It's MOOE. So it's maintenance and other operating expenses. So you have the traveling expenses, 250,000 local. That's why I mentioned earlier that the local 150, the foreign 200,000 because I want to go to Germany. I want to spend 100,000 in Germany or Czech Republic. You know, but you just want to come to Germany. So the expenses, portage carrier, you have to charge it, and mobile expenses, internet, so because you have to pay for that, so you should not ask when some project they gonna just call the admission of your university. So basically you have to check, you have to really fill in what you need here. Okay, this is the most crucial part. So this is supplies, materials, expenses, and so you have to plan. You know, as a researcher, you are the project leader, you are the accountant, you are the implementer, you are the auditor, like how much you spend, if you already overspend. So this is the crucial part of handling a project. So here, preventing publishing expenses. So let's say you want to publish it in open access, you have to pay for that. Subscription expenses, survey expenses, personal services. So let's say you consult someone. That's why I put it there, consultancy for establishing general technology. So I put 20,000 and so on and so on. With other maintenance, so you really have to put in there like specific by specific. So here is uh the rest. So I put here for this one is under the partner agency that the my university. So to the expenses, transmission, traveling, utilities. So you know the room that you use, and kind of also the I would say admin costs. I think this would fall. So now I have 1.6 million for the MOE. Now I have the, if you remember the form here, EO. So EO is equipment outlay, right? So how, let's say I'm asking for a streamer scope, 150 digital microphones, and so on and so on. So like you really need to be specific for that. Okay, so in that case, I need like 150 million. In total, I have 4 million. So I think that's it. So in total, like 1 million is the contribution of my implementing agency. But then this 1 million could be from the room usage, the rental for this, and that and that. Okay, it doesn't have to be in cloud. It's like in terms of the physical office or whatever that is. All right. So now let's proceed to next one. So just other projects, so you can, if you're handling other projects, so you can write it if you have. In this case, I put nothing here, so but I will probably put later on, and other supporting documents. So pretty it. So I hereby the truth, blah blah blah. So I am the front leader, professor, member. I put it there because it's more like for funding. And like their internship, again, it should be endorsed by the head of the agency. So it means that the head of the agency will know like what should be your counterpart. So let's say you endorse like you're gonna have to give you an office or a lab or a building or whatever that you need to run your project. So basically that's it. It's I have here 16 pages, so that's why it's important for you to check. And once you have all these requirements, then you are ready to set. Okay, so here, okay, it's not working anymore. Let me just check one more time. So basically, it's just reading it, you know, if you want to read it. But that was the. Now, if you think you're ready with that, there is another form. It will be it. This is most crucial part, but I think that's why at least 2 to 3 months you need to really prepare your project. This is the last, not the last, but also another form. It's a project work plan. This is a bit tricky and detail based, I would say. So basically, let's say pre-experimental activities and percentage, year one, year two, and stuff like that. So you need to fill this form. I haven't completed yet because I'm still like, you know, I need to really sit this, try to, this is taken from other, it's just sample, you know, like your objective, your activities, and your target accomplishment. So in my case, and then have 100%. year one, year two, year three, because in my case, I have year three. And then after that, you are good to go. So now once you're done, you can go back to this, and there is so called sign in. Uh, all right. So let's say I'm not sure if I can log in right away with my own account. Ah, okay. So let me just probably I cannot log in. Let me check. I will just try to probably wait a minute. I have to check my password. Okay, because we are almost there. Just want to make sure that everything is complete. So just give me a moment. Okay. Okay, so I think that is my password. And I have you it. Yeah, please. So let me see if I can log in. All right, I think it worked perfectly. Oh my God. Okay. So I have to change my username. So one last time. Taking a long time. I don't know what happened. Probably I lost my internet because it's raining right now. But we can wait a little bit, and I think we are almost done. So we'll see why it's taking so long. Or maybe I will try to make another video for that on how to submit your proposal. But let's see, one more minute. You say that patience is a virtue. So let's see if we can get it. Ah, all right. So this is what it looks like with your DST form. How do DST online submission? So you have there the new, approved, draft, differ. So basically, I haven't done it yet. So that's why it's almost zeros, and then you have their new, and then just go there. So you have to click new, and look, start submission here. Look at submit, start submission, and that's it. So look at that step one, two, three, four, five. So it's a long process. So you cannot do it like in one day. So you have to be patient and your budget because in this case you really have to put it like, manually in their system. So you cannot upload this. It's like you have to do it here. So let's say here, call for proposal, what kind of proposal, early program, there's like technical, startup, non-research and development, and regional. So then purpose specification, new proposal, you can have resubmitted proposal, directed proposal. So it depends on that. And then you can say save and next. And then you wait, it's like an online application form and you are good to go. So yeah, I think yes. So I hope that you learned something today, and I hope that I kind of contributed a lot for this. So I hope that you'll be able to get your funding, and I'm happy that you can get your like 4 million project that you want. So till the next video, if you want to learn more about data analysis and other data visualizations, it's also available in my video tutorial. So you're free to look at it, try to look at it, and if you think it is interesting for you, you can share my video or you can purchase my ebook. It will be really helpful for me to pay for all my subscriptions for my other subscriptions like EI. So thank you very much and see you for next tutorial.